So speaking on that, we're gonna get into facts and opinions. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the slave trade in Libya. According to CNN, 242 migrants were sent back to Nigeria. Over 700,000 migrants traveling through Nigeria and Libya have been kidnapped, according to Gold.com. And according to Time Magazine, each migrant has been sold for as low as $400. What brought attention to this to me, Snoop Dogg, Nas, Pharrell, T.I. all was on Instagram, and like slowly but surely, like I was just seeing like pictures of migrants in Libya having guns to their head, them being tied up, them being lined up.
Yeah,
slavery still exists.
So I think people kind of get a misunderstanding, because when we think about slavery, we think of like chattel slavery and what our ancestors went through, and there's no good slavery by any means, but the slavery, these people are running from one country to another country on the promise that they're gonna have a better life in Europe.
Right.
So these people would rather die than stay where they are. So because they're in that desperate situation, the people are taking advantage of that. So the kidnappers are taking advantage of the fact that these people are willing to die to get out of there. So, I mean, they're escaping worse countries, or so they, like in South Africa or in Nigeria, like you said. You know why they're leaving? Because Boko Haram, like, remember you used to see Bring Back Our Girls? They're like taking the women and killing them and raping them and all that stuff. So they think, okay, we're going to go to Libya, because then we're going to cross the ocean and we're going to go to Europe. But man, the trek to get there is 1,000 miles. It takes them weeks to get there. On the way, they take jobs to pay for the rest of the way. Like, every way they stop, they're working to, and people are taking advantage of them.
It's crazy, because the last time I heard of something like this, the NBA player Luol Deng, I know he, I don't remember what part of Africa he was from, but I know when they was talking about his story when he was coming up in the league, he was speaking about, the stuff that he had to go through in the poverty, and then him having to go to school in Europe, and how he got from Europe to go to college in the States to where he is today. And I mean, you think of it like with one person on a scale like that, how he made it out. But 700,000 people is a lot of people. So
when they get to Libya, that on the coast of Libya, they're supposed to be crossing over to like Italy or something like that to get there. But the boats that they put them on don't make it. So they already know that the boats are going to sink, but they're waiting on the coast police to pick them up. Yeah. And so, and just at least they'll be prisoners, but they'll be out of the situation that they're in. It's just like the people are so desperate, and it's what do you do? I mean, we can bring awareness to it, and the United Nations can step in, but it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Our country, Italy, they all tried to colonize Africa, and it's like, okay, now these people need somewhere to go, because you went over there, you blew it up, you tried to take the oil, you do all this, you do all that, but look at what you create. You create all these people.
Is it somewhat of a similarity to how Cubans migrated to like South Florida in like the 80s? Is that like?
But it's like, I mean, it's really at a grander scale than that. Like, right. Because Cuba but Africa, period, like the continent, there are so many different countries in Africa that have been disrupted just from war and bleeding them of their resources. Mm-hmm. Because Libya was rich and they had a socialist thing going on. But you know what? When they found the oil, they tried to keep it amongst themselves, and Ronald Reagan made them to be out to be like these. You know what they do? Oh, they're horrible. They're warmongers. They're gonna kill everybody, and they create this thing. And so we went over there, bombed them. So now the people are still suffering from years and years of like militias have taken over that country. You know what I mean? Like just dude from down there and dude from over there. They like create their own government and just it's all over the place. So what do you do? I mean, I see all those signs and I'm like, I mean, what do we do? I mean, we could press the people to get involved, but it's like, unless you have an armed militia to go over there and help, it's like, it's a helpless situation. So that's why I'm
Honestly.
How long has this been going on?
Years.
It's been going on for years.
And if it's not Libya, it's Syria. If it's not Syria,
because of the impact of social media.
Right.
Now that we got social media, and
because they show the people in the jails. Because after, I mean, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
But CJ Black, that's the gift and curse of social media. I honestly would say this, in a sense, is where the good part of social media comes in at, because now us as a world is aware of what's going on. Now, just imagine if we didn't have social media and we only depended on the news and the newspaper. This is shit that wouldn't get out. We wouldn't know anything about this. Like I said, the first person I saw bringing to my attention was Nas, who got it, from what I'm understanding, from Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was the first person to post it, and then from there, it just trickled down to now where we at the point to what we talking about it on the show today.
Right.
So,
and I mean, everyone is it's out there. I mean, there's documentaries on it. I know, like, if you watch Vice, that's a pretty good channel. They cover a lot of things. And I mean, they've been having documentaries on this because this has been going on and on and on. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
what was the name of that movie Idris Elba played in on Netflix? Was that kind of like?
I don't know. Did that kind of tie in
where he, like, the kids was like going to war and stuff? I didn't really get to watch the movie in detail. Not Hotel Rwanda, but it was a newer one that he came out with that, like, a year ago. I gotta find it on Netflix.
I mean, Hotel Rwanda basically is
the same
kind
thing.
Of situation. Yeah. How, like, the people outside are like wilding out. I mean, they're trying to escape.
Blood Diamonds was another one. Yeah.
They're trying to escape whatever is going on, and I mean, they ride for weeks. They pay people to just keep them going through the Sahara Desert for thousands of miles, like, with their family, just escaping. Like, it's heartbreaking. But, like, what are we gonna do?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, the social media, it goes back to what I always say. Like,
what's the solution?
What's the solution? We raising all this awareness, but what are these people that's reposting this and bringing awareness actually doing about it? And it's just like, man, people do a lot of stuff for likes.
I agree.
Do a lot of stuff for attention, and it's just like, are you doing this for attention just because it's cool? Because everybody start posting. Oh, we're not talking about this, but we're talking about this. Okay, let's talk about it then.
Right, because now you're woke because you know about, like, now you're woke. But now I'm seeing all these things that make me know you don't understand what's really going on, because it's like, I understand, the slavery thing, and we automatically think of the situation with our ancestors here on this land. But in Africa, they've been bleeding them for resources for, like, millennia.
But I'm gonna say something though. Like I told you before, Nas, my favorite artist all the time. Something he always spoke about in his music.
Absolutely.
He always spoke about it in his music. So I'm sure behind closed doors it's something that he's doing, and it's probably even more that he wants to do. As far as everybody else, I can't really speak on them. I mean, you got guys like T.I. that does stuff, but is he doing something about this situation? I'm not trying to single him out, but I can kind of understand, where you coming from. It's like once one celebrity say something about it,
now it's trendy.
Not even really celebrities. I'm just talking about people in general. Yeah. Like, they just hop on the wave of, I'm about to repost this because everybody's talking about it.
Right, and then when you get deep into it, it's like we just put out all this energy, and it's like nothing we can really, like, do about it. You know what I mean? And it's just like you're powerless, and you see the evil, and it kind of makes you grateful. You know what I mean? That you're here, but it's just like breaks your heart that that's your people. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that we powerless. It just goes back. I mean, even with the Black Lives Matter stuff. It just goes back to people, they want to talk about it. People want to change, but people are not willing to sacrifice.
But it's a different thing though. Think about it. These people are voluntarily putting themselves into this position. You know what I mean? Like I saw this dude in one of the documentaries I read. I saw about this, and he was like, I will die before I go back home. Like they will take you back to Nigeria.
But us as American people, this is what I feel we could do. We could sacrifice some of our resources to help them out.
Absolutely.
But we wouldn't. I mean.
Would you sacrifice? Would you move into a 2-bedroom house because everybody's building other 2-bedroom houses so that they can help the refugees? Like, what are we willing to give up to help?
We gonna have to make. And
absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if I would make them sacrifices.
I would.
I mean,
I'm like kind of a minimalist
though. Level, like, when you watch the news and you hear somebody die, it's like it don't affect you like somebody in your family do. It's like we don't know them people. It's messed up that they going through that,
but do you want to see them on your street? Do you want to see them, like, live next door to you? That's the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Exactly. Because where are they going? They're going to Europe. They're gonna end up coming here, which is fine. But is it fine? Or when they get here, are y'all gonna talk about building a wall and sending them back and all that stuff? You know what I mean?
Never know with Trump.
Exactly, and this is the kind of thing that you don't want going on when you have somebody like that in office. Nothing that is going on you want him to have to be in charge of. But you know what I mean? We just, keep making people aware, And, you know, just keep going hard as long as we can, because we're a little baby station too. And net neutrality, you just don't know, because that tax law they put out last night that's some bullshit too.
I heard about it.
So it's like, the FCC, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, y'all? Call, blow their phone up. So this comedian, he made up a website. Go FCC, what is it? Go FCCyourself.com. Because when you go to the FCC website, it makes you go through all this shit to complain or say that you are in favor of net neutrality. So he created a website that you can go directly to it, and you don't have to go through all the rigmarole. Right.
Steps. Yeah, understandable.
Right. So I mean, in order for people like them to be heard, and for people that go like Viceland, that's a kind of like a, you know, what if Comcast is like, yeah, nah, I don't think we should have Viceland at this speed. You'll catch them once in a while. It'll be really slow and hard to get to.
That's crazy. So Kim,